Hey everyone, welcome back to the Color Brown podcast. I'm your host, Negra. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and follow us on Instagram. You already know before we start, I got to give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey, Keep It Hard, guys, and also LA Kush on Sunset. Make sure you use promo code Negra40 only at the LA Kush on Sunset. Also, make sure you follow For His Glory. And if you want to learn how to tattoo, make sure you hit up Connect Inc. On today's episode, we have Sonia. Welcome to the Color Brown, Sonia.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, you're welcome. I can't wait to hear your story. I'm excited. Tell us where are you from, where you grew up, your mom and your dad, brothers and sisters, how was your upbringing?
So I'm actually from Pasco, Washington, a small town in Washington State. I've actually lived here for 3 years. So I have a brother, and then my mom married and had my sister. And then I ended up with two stepsisters when I was very young. Third grade. You're probably thinking, why do you remember third grade? And I'm like, because that's when my mom and my dad separated. And then I have two half brothers with so it's like a blended type of family.
Being blended is pretty cool. Everybody's a little
different. That's for sure, girl.
And what is your nationality?
I'm Mexican. I'm Mexicana.
Okay, cool. So you lived there your whole life in Washington. You went to school out there. You graduated high school. Tell us a little bit more. Like you went to high school, you graduated, things like that.
Yeah. So I went to high school. I actually had my first son when I was 15 years old. So I was a teen mom. And then by the age of 19, I graduated, went to college. And I ended up having three sons. I'm a boy mom for sure. And then 10 years later, I had my youngest. So my oldest currently right now is 30. And then my youngest is going to be 20.
Wow.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah. Tell us about how it is. How was it for you when you found out you were pregnant and you're 15 years old, your mom, you have to go to school? Like, how was that for you?
So actually, I was pregnant when I was 14 and my mom was like, you better not be pregnant. And I was like, man, I missed my period. Who knows? So she's the one that took me.
Running wild, huh?
Yeah, I was running the streets for sure. And I was like, man, what is going on? But I found out I was pregnant and I already knew it because, when you're pregnant, and you just are in denial. And so when I found out, I was like, oh, okay, well, let's do this. I wasn't ever thinking about, I'm going to do whatever I got to do. It was like, no, I'm going to take care of him. And so.
What about the baby daddy, your son's father?
My question is how old is the son's father?
So I was 14. He was, I think, 15, 16.
Oh. Okay, so you guys were about the same age.
Yeah, we were around the same age. But when I told him, he was like, that's not my baby. You know the drill. And I was like, whatever. Anyways, my mom was like, Sonia, you need to come move in with me. And I was like, I do not want to move in with you. Like, wait, your mom already had kicked me out.
Okay.
Okay, let me back up. When I met this kid, when you're like 14, you think you're in love and you're really not.
Yes.
Okay. That's just the way that it is.
For the kids that are watching.
You're not. That's puppy love, honey. And I just feel like, when you're in that state of mind, you do whatever you got to do. And I ran away. So my mom kicked me out and she's like, you ain't coming to my house no more. And I'm like, well, whatever. So I stayed with my aunt. And even when I was staying with my aunt, she allowed me to be myself. But she was just like, you need to go to school. You need to make sure that like you're getting your shit together. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I ran away. Here I am. And I ended up pregnant. And so my mom was like, you need to come move back in with me. I was like, I cannot. Like, I'm with this family. They've been taking care of me. Like, when you move.
Meaning your tia?
No, I actually moved into his family's house.
How do they treat you?
They treated me really nice. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't disrespectful. They were just like, she's pregnant. She's having my son's baby.
Even though he was like,
Yeah, but he got over it after 2.2 seconds because I think that's what kids at that age, their first response is that. Of
course.
Is he like a cholo type or what is he?
Yeah, he was like a cholo type. And
That's right.
That is not right.
That bad boy image, I guess. And I think for me, like when I was like, okay, I'm pregnant, I need to go back to school. I need to get my shit together.
Well, good. I'm glad. That's good that you thought that way.
Because but then when I was pregnant, like 6, 7 months, I was sick all the time. So I couldn't go to school. I couldn't do any of that. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So there's this program that you can do during the summer. It's called OIC over there. And all you did was fill out these pamphlets. I was smart. I wasn't no dummy. I was really smart in school. Like I liked what I liked and I didn't like what I liked, which was math and science. I couldn't stand that. But I was like, okay, I'm going to hustle my little way. So I did all my packets. I did what I had to do for that program to finish it. And then I would make money on the side doing other people's packets. Because I was like, I have this kid. I need diapers.
Yes.
Like I need a car. Like we're going to make.
You were thinking right.
I was just hustling. I've always been like that. So fast forward, I had 3 kids with the same person, but he was always in and out of prison. So I was by myself.
So you were like a prison wife as well.
Well, no wife, because that's not a wife, but
You know what I mean?
yeah, you were just there because, that was your baby's daddy and that's what you were supposed to do.
You lived in their home still with the parents. You lived by yourself
actually,
already.
I got my first apartment when I was 17. And from there on out, that I was on my own.
Okay. And you just worked at regular jobs.
No, I was still in high school. I was getting assistance, and back then the rent was only $350 to $400. So
Up there in Washington.
yeah, so I can afford living in a 2-bedroom.
My question is what kind of crimes was your BD committing?
Like selling drugs.
So did you ever help him sell drugs?
Did I ever help him sell drugs?
Yeah, he wasn't there, so you had to serve somebody a sack when they pulled up or something.
No, I didn't do none of that
You helped
because
him bag up the work.
Yeah, because he was like cheating on me quite often too. So he was going back and forth. And
Got
when
it.
I was
You were working, you were doing your thing, you
I
were
was
being
going
a
to
mom.
school, I was being a mom, I had no time. Like if you were gonna go do that out over there.
Of course.
I told them your friends can't come over here no more. You can't do any of those activities because I had kids and I didn't want my kids
So
to
you
be
were
in that
almost like a
life.
stern.
No, I
almost
was.
like-
It
yeah.
was like, no, that's not what you're going to do. And he didn't obviously like that. So he would cheat on me with women that allowed
Let
him
him.
to do that at their house, which was fine. Go ahead. But, this last time he went to prison, well, he's been to prison a lot. But when I was tired, I was just like, you know what? Like, that's it.
You're over it.
I'm done.
You were over it.
I was over it.
And how long did you last with him?
So we were kids. So like 14. And then I was like in my early 20s.
Oh, okay. That's okay. And you know what's funny that you say that because I always tell the young girls, like, don't fall in love with your first boyfriend. Don't get married with your first boyfriend because it doesn't ever last till you're 25. You break up. You leave the kids with their grandparents and you're like over there running amok, just making a fool out of yourself because you never got to live your life as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you're a teenager, you think different. You're just like, oh, the boys like me. Versus when you're in your 20s, like, oh my God, I need to take care of kids. I need to get a job. I need to do this. I need to do that. So it's like 2 different vibes. And I think when somebody comes into your life, you have to make sure that it's healthy. And I have learned that now. Versus then, we were done. We didn't know anything. And so I think when it comes to just relationships in general, like you really learn a lot of lessons.
Oh, for sure. And if you don't learn, that means you don't want to learn.
I have friends that do the same shit till now. And I'm just like, girl,
Like,
you're
don't you get
very
over
smart
it?
at everything
Yeah.
else. What's going on with you?
They just want to feel like that certain love.
It's just they didn't elevate the relationship status.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just,
I agree. I agree. So you have 4 kids?
I do. I have 4 sons.
I'm a boy mom too, so
Okay.
I am glad I don't have any girls. No offense, girls, but girls are intense.
They are. It's very, very loud. Like I have friends that have girls and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I
Very
don't know
loud.
how you do it. You're just like, okay, we're used to the rough playing, the boys being loud, the boys fighting, but we're not used to just like, mom this, mommy this. Not like I can't.
Or like the talking back and like you.
You know what? That's the reason why we probably didn't have no daughters, because we would be
I would be
in that prison suit behind us.
Oh yeah, I always say, man, if I had a girl, I would have been getting them.
Yeah, yeah. But don't get it twisted. We're going to be doing that with the boys too. We don't let the boys slide.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
We just got to be a little more rougher with
yeah,
them.
a little. Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes a lot to be a boy mom.
I think it does. I think it's underrated.
Facts. I agree. So tell me, so you left your son's father, your kid's boy's father when you were, like you said, 22, around there,
Like 21.
And what did you do?
I just, took care of my kids. I think that was the one thing. Finished school, took care of the kids, and that was pretty much it. And then I had a moment in my life where like I want to go out.
Which is okay.
Which is okay because I deserved it.
That's
so
right.
I was like, for like the first 3 to 4 months, I went out and then it got boring. I just didn't understand.
You feel like lost.
I just was like, this isn't my thing because I didn't drink. I that wasn't like fun to me because I knew if I got drunk, I knew that I would like all these emotions would probably, now that I think about it, I didn't drink because I knew once I drank, I would just be mad about the world, about a lot of things in my life.
Hey, at least you were smart enough to.
So I did it, yeah.
And you didn't fall into that depression, because that's what alcohol does a lot of times. Like, you're going to wild out and you're just going to party. By the time you know it, you're a mess and the kids are just a mess too.
Yeah. So that's what, and I've had a lot of family that are on drugs, that are alcoholics, that are, drug addicts. And so I seen what it did. I seen what it did to my cousins. I seen what it did till now. I mean, I still see a lot of things. I'm like, girl, like, how old are you? 60?
And how did you go about navigating away from behaving like the rest of the people around you that were drinking and doing drugs?
That was the thing. It was, you had two choices. Like you either went one way and you see what it is.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go this way and just figure it out. Like, I think in everybody's journey, it's up and down, up and down. You're always going to make mistakes. It doesn't, I was not perfect at all. And I just feel like, when I see my aunts, one of them lived with me. So I seen it firsthand. So I think that's what it was too. And I seen firsthand how it affected my cousins. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's visual. Exactly. I'm a visual person. If I see something that I don't like, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, good. Because not everybody thinks that way. I'm not that thinker. I'm like, I'm going to do it because I want to see what happens.
Because you like to struggle. We like to struggle.
Yes.
And that's what that is. Because my kids are like that too. Oh, no, I could tell them everything. And they're just like, no, I want to struggle. I'm like, okay, we'll struggle then.
Now I'm like, oh, no, this person said this. So now I listen to everybody's stories. Like, okay, and I go home and I'm like, hey, this happened to this person. Like, so I feel like now you could learn from it when you get, well, at least for me, now that I'm older, now I do want to learn from other people. I should have learned a long time ago, right? But hey, everybody has different paths. So you just took care of your kids. What did you do for work after you graduated high school?
I actually went to college and I worked. Guess what I did in college? I was over there writing them tickets.
What does that even mean?
So, like when you park the wrong way, you're parking in the handicap, don't have a handicap. No. Girl, I was the one writing them tickets. I was waiting for you.
Oh, everybody not like you.
No, they did not. And I love that job. But I did it for 4 years.
Was it quota based or was it just however the day went?
No, it was just basically job experience. And then you would just get paid hourly. It was just a regular little job.
But I mean, was it like quota driven? Like you had to give out X amount of tickets?
No. No.
Okay, that's nice.
No.
She was just,
so you weren't necessarily on the prowl.
Oh, no. I was just like, you know what? Why are you parking over here? You know how hard it is for people that are handicapped to get out of their. You don't have to privately do anything. It's out there. But that's fine.
And ladies, my bad.
it is, right? You work hard. Why not?
So she's working at the college giving out tickets. That's where we're at.
That's how she's taking care of the boys.
That's how So I'm taking care of the boys, having a college job.
While you're going to college.
While I'm going to college.
And what were you going to college for? You just
my regular AA. I was trying to be a paralegal, but then I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
I ain't saving this fool.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even saying that. I'm not even saving anybody. I ain't doing the lawyer's job.
Got it. Yeah.
That's basically what you do. You do all the work and then they just present it.
Yes,
So I was like no, thank you.
So you were by yourself though. You didn't have like a boyfriend or anything like
No,
that.
because I was just focused on the kids, honestly. Because you have to kind of find yourself.
Yeah.
And I think if you like go into quick relationships, I just think you get lost.
I agree.
And so, when I had the 3 kids, I was like, I'm not going to have any more kids. And then I met somebody, and then he happened to be my husband. And then we had my youngest son, Mario. But I was just like, I don't want no more kids. But I love my son. He's so cute. He's a good kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you graduated college.
I graduated college, and then
Did you meet your ex-husband in college as well?
no,
Okay.
I met him at the club.
At the club.
I'm just saying.
No,
Yeah.
it's.
I mean, that's the reality of it. That's where you normally meet people back in the day, in late 2000s. I mean, early 2000s. I mean, and you would go out. It's not like today's people going swipe left, swipe right, and doing all of that. I think it's all about communication too. But I was married too long. I was in a relationship that was too long for me to be in, and it kind of showed me that. So I just barely got a divorce a couple of months ago, but it's been a long process to getting there.
When you say too long, what is the reason why you say too long? Like, how was your relationship?
I think when you're in a relationship and you don't know how to communicate, or you're telling somebody, hey, like you need to fix this, or I need to fix this, and you're not doing it, then it gets tiring.
For sure.
And I think too, like, when you're married, it's all about like, I'm an alpha female, and it's always been my way or the highway. And I think for me, it was very hard to like
Be submissive.
yeah, because I was always in that surrender, like always in survival mode
For
all
sure.
the time. Like, nope, 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 nope. And so I think when I was in that space, I was kind of like, maybe I should just kind of step back and see what happens. And I shouldn't have. That was a mistake. I should have listened to my intuition, because I knew. I was like, I just think you fall out of love with people. I think it's good, but when you're in a marriage, you have to work at it. And if you're working at it by yourself,
Then it doesn't work.
It does not work. And if there's 2 people that just don't want to communicate no more, that's what that is. And it's all about obligations after that, because now you have a kid that you have to raise.
Yeah.
And then when you're in a space where you're raising a kid, they see the bad version of you, the unhealthy version of you. And so I'm just like, why am I sitting here?
I love that you're saying that.
Yeah. And I tell my kids all the time, like, if you are going to have kids with somebody, please make sure that they live in a healthy mindset, same as you.
Yeah.
If you're not ready, don't have them.
That's right.
And I've learned a lot. So I'm like, oh no, we can't go there. So I had to sit down with the person and say, I cannot be with you. These are the reasons why. And I think people were shocked. A lot of people were shocked in my family. I didn't tell nobody my business. I'm very private.
Okay.
So when it came to that, I was like, yeah, people were shocked.
They
They
thought
couldn't
everything
believe
was
it.
like, all great, but you weren't okay. You were happy within yourself.
So, exactly. And so I think that's the most important, is that women need to put themselves first. And when you put yourself first, then you start seeing a lot of things that you don't like about yourself. And you're like, I need to change that.
How different was this particular individual from the first individual that you were with?
One was, a gangbanger, while the other one was straight arrow.
Do you think the straight arrow person was like, did he like, because obviously the one that was in prison was just he didn't care. It was just all about cheating. And this one was just, no, you're going to do this way because this is the right way kind of thing.
Yeah, it was more like, why are you doing that? You shouldn't be doing that.
Like
why are you
like a
saying
commander.
that? Yeah, like what? And I'd be like, you're not my dad.
Oh, God, yes.
What do you mean by that, G?
Well,
No,
like
just
that.
kidding.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, because they want you to be a certain way, and if they wanted somebody like that, they should have been with somebody like that.
Exactly.
What if they just wanted you to reach your best?
Well, there's a difference between elevating and changing somebody.
Yeah.
Messing
Elevate
around.
is growing.
Yeah, growing together instead of changing somebody right off the bat. I just feel like if you meet somebody and you're in a relationship, that's who you're getting.
Yes, I agree.
And you need to accept that. So sometimes you're probably gonna be like, I don't like that and I don't like this, but you either have to compromise when it comes to that. And I think with relationships now, even like friendships and family ships,
Yes.
you know, just because they're toxic does not mean that they're good for you. Toxic people are not good for you. And I just feel like, hey, I probably was toxic too, but I had a lot of things that I needed to really work on. And I had to be by myself to do that.
And neither of these men were like abusive verbally or physically.
I think my younger relationship, it was sometimes physical. I got beat up one time, and that one time only he learned.
Why though?
He was on drugs.
Mm.
And so what happened was actually we didn't know what he was on, and he was freaking out, and he just started hitting people. He hit me, he hit his mom, he hit his,
So it wasn't like a direct attack.
No, it was that. And
Sonia,
no, it wasn't that.
That's
But
good.
I think for me, like, yeah, that
was
Just because you're lost and you're off messed up doesn't mean it's okay.
yeah.
No,
So I
absolutely
said
not.
that. So I
No,
said that, like, oh no, you're not gonna do that. Like,
Baby, I'm sorry, it wasn't
no,
me.
no,
You're never
no,
you.
no,
You're
no.
never you. Like, okay.
Yeah. Because I've seen it, and I've seen my aunts go through that.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So I'm like, oh no, 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 no. We're not gonna do that.
For sure. So, you're already older. At this point, you're how old? When you
divorced.
divorced. Well, she just got divorced a few months ago.
Oh,
So basically,
shit.
you lived like that for like what, 10 years or something like that. Let's
It
say.
was like probably no, like 19, 20 years.
Okay, of you living in that relationship. 'Cause you did
I
say-
think when you're in a first relation, like when you're in a relationship in the beginning, it's fine. I think when years and go by, I was in my 20s, then I was in my 30s. Every chapter of your life
You
is
change,
different, and you
yes,
change.
yes.
The things that you need, the things that you see, you start changing, you start seeing stuff. Sometimes women don't say anything because they're just like, oh, it just
is it.
happens. I think this is normal. We do not know because you don't have your mother or anybody telling you relationship advice. They're on mute. They're just
like así es la vida. That's how it is.
like deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. That's your deal with it. And I think because people think because they take care of you, they give you whatever you want, that's what life is all about, and
Yeah.
it's not.
You know what this sounds like? If my sister were to vent. Because my sister just went through I guess she's about to file for divorce. And she's been in a very long-term relationship.
That's exactly what she says. She's like,
And it's
I
about
can't be me.
it's about like you were saying compromises, and if you're the only person making compromises and the other individual is just staying how they are, then
She's like, I want to go to concerts. I want to go travel.
yeah, my sister would travel with us by herself, not with her man, and me and her man get along fine for the most part. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And it's not even like crazy things. It's like she just wasn't like you. You're not the same person
Yeah,
anymore.
we're not
You
compatible
grow.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think once you grow and you're just like, okay, it just does not work.
yeah, I agree.
And when you broke the news of this individual, how did he take it? Was it like nothing? Was he shocked? Did he try to go into emergency recovery mode?
I think when I told him, I think he was just like, oh, okay, like
Maybe he was in the same place, huh?
maybe, I don't know, but I
I don't even care.
I think for me, when I said it, I meant it, and I think he knew it,
That's right.
and he was just like, and that's what that was. So I just feel like when you have an honest conversation, I think that's like the most important.
Yeah.
And I think you need to be upfront with your emotions, and if you're not, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but I think when you have a conversation with somebody your lives are gonna change.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be really,
it's
really
real, bro.
honest.
It's
yeah,
real.
it's real. Like, I don't like it. I thank you for what you did. Appreciate all of that. Thank you for helping me raise the kids. Me and you are not there anymore.
Yeah.
And I just can't be that.
And
And you deserve somebody better that loves you and respects you.
yes.
And I am not that.
Yes. So tell me, Sonia, throughout these 19 years, what were you doing? Like, what were you doing as for yourself? Like, you working? Like, what is it that you were doing?
Well, I was raising kids. My kids were all in sports. I was like a sports mom.
Got it.
I was really busy doing that. I worked as Like I worked at Mary Maid's. And then for the longest time, I worked in the cannabis industry because Washington State, it was legal at that time. And that was the job that I did before I moved over here. So I worked in the cannabis industry for 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
So that's what I was doing, raising a family. The kids were already out of the house. The youngest one was just there by himself. He was like young. And then, you know, my schedule was the same. Get up in the morning, work, and come home.
How did you get into the weed industry if you didn't smoke weed?
Well, everybody in my family smokes weed. I didn't say that I didn't smoke weed. I smoked weed.
That you didn't drink.
I smoked weed for the longest time, but I stopped smoking weed when my son came from school one day and said, "Mom, you lied to me. You ain't smoking no cigarettes. You're smoking marijuana." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, there we go. We can't do that." So I stopped.
Okay.
That's the reason why. And so I didn't for the longest time. Like, but then when I worked in the industry, you really don't want to smoke or do any of that because you work a lot with the plant.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I just lived a normal life that was about the kids.
In what capacity were you dealing with the pot?
What do you mean?
Like, were you manufactured? Like, were you growing it? Were you selling it? Did you own
So,
a dispensary?
so over there in Washington, it's a little bit different than California. The farms, that's where all the weed is. It's not where the stores are. They're two separate things. So I worked in the cannabis farm and I was a production manager. We processed, we delivered, we harvested, we did everything. So I know a lot about weed.
Right.
So when I look at packages and stuff like that, packaging, it's very like, oh, okay. I see that.
Yeah.
Or I would have did this different. I would have rolled it different. I would have, the packaging would have been different. It would have been a different color. Like,
Yeah, your own little input.
yeah,
into
because I had to do that for that company.
many moons ago.
Yeah, many moons ago. Well, that was 3 years ago.
Oh, that's not
So,
too.
yeah.
That's not.
So
too,
it wasn't too bad.
Shout out to LA Kush though.
Uh-huh.
She's been in this industry for a very long time. Her name is Trin.
Awesome.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? So that was like what 3 years ago. You moved to California 3 years ago. Was that the reason why you moved to California?
I moved to California. Well, when I asked for the divorce, I left the house. And then I moved in with my mom for 3 days and I decided, what am I doing with my life? I was a content creator within that time too. So I started content creation in 2020.
What kind of content?
Just like I did a lot of handbag videos. I did a lot of makeup, skincare, and I was just doing it for fun. I wasn't like thinking I was going to make a living out of it. I was just like, oh, okay, let me just put my little self out there. I don't care. Like whoever listens is going to listen. And I was just myself. And I think if you're a content creator and you want to be in this industry, you need to learn how to be authentic, stay humble, and be yourself.
Yes. So you say you had to be humble, authentic, just different, and just remain being yourself. And you say you were doing skincare. What kind of skincare? Did you always do skincare or like?
I started doing skincare when I was 35 years old. That was when I was actually transitioning to gray hair because my hair stopped dying.
Because you guys, her hair is real.
Yeah, it's natural. And it was hard for me the first 6 months, honestly, because I was like, I'm 35 and I'm going to look old. As I'm old. And I think for me, it created a beauty standard of just the way that I look at myself now. It's totally different. I think it really inspired me to be like, you know what? Okay, if I'm going to get wrinkles, fine lines, and sun damage and all that, I'm just going to take care of my skin and I'm just going to go all for it. So when I turned 35, the skincare was present and so was the gray hair at the same time. So I was going through a transition, trying to find myself, trying to figure out what I needed to do to love myself more because I was not loving the way that I looked, especially I had hair like your hair. My natural hair is black. And so from going from black to gray is a really big transition. And,
for sure.
And it took a lot. Like I had no choices. Okay. Now there's a lot of people that have some choices, but
so you
like
couldn't
for
dye
me,
your hair anymore.
My hair did not take.
Okay.
Yeah, it
That's
didn't
Because you were
crazy.
getting, because you had so much white.
So like right here, yeah, I have so much white in my hairline.
Looks so cool, though.
That's what it was. It was the hairline. It wasn't even like the hair itself. And I would have to dye my hair like 2 to 3 days
Oh my
because
God.
it would come out like. And then I was like, my hairstylist was like, "Girl, you just need to stop dyeing it. Like, just let's see how it does." And I've always had short hair. You've met me now that my hair is a little bit longer, but I've always had a pixie. My hair was always short. I hadn't had long hair since I was in like 30,
Wow.
31. Yeah. So
What made you want to cut your hair?
I
That
think
shortness.
I've always wanted short hair. I think I liked Rihanna's hairstyle, and I was like, I really want that hair. And my hairstylist is like, "Girl, okay, we're gonna start out real slow."
I want to so bad.
I went with the A line. Then it kind of got one shorter on one end, and then I was like, "Just cut it already." And she finally cut it, and yeah, so it was like that for the longest time. My hair is coarse and thick, so I'm like, okay, let me just keep it like this, and I had it for the longest time. I think I decided to grow out my hair because I was kind of curious of how I looked with longer hair. I have a lot of compliments. A lot of people like it. They're like, "Girl, I love your hair. Thank you
Yes.
so much." But yeah, it's growing out.
So what do you do? Like, what are you doing now? I know you have a TikTok. I know you almost, you have like 500,000 followers and you do skincare. Tell us how you got into that. And I saw something about like you were partners with like Sephora or something like that. Tell us.
So I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Yes, please.
So somebody hit me up in the DMs, and I don't really answer them DMs, but I answered
said
this one,
demons.
those demons, because that's what it is. And this guy kept like, "Hey Sonia, I really want to do a documentary on you." Like, I'm like, no, because I wasn't ready for that, and I don't know why I said no, but I said no for 3 months. He was like, "No one has ever said anything no to me, number one. Number two, I work for Sephora." So I ended up agreeing to it. And then we ended up doing this documentary on me for Sephora. So Sephora has this channel where they just share little stories with people, about people. And so I did that. And he's like, "I'm going to volunteer you to be part of the Sephora squad," which I had no idea Sephora squad even existed.
Yeah,
but
especially because you're not even a professional doing the
I was
skincare.
like, I don't know what that is. And
You just did your own shit.
Yeah, so I went and I applied, and then you have to get testimonies. So I had to be there and beg my followers to get me some testimonies. Like,
Aw.
please, you need to write something good about me. And man, I got I ended up with 4,200 testimonies.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and they were good. They weren't even about skincare. They weren't even about makeup. It was more about, she showed me self-love, like this or this or that. It was like really intense. And we got to read a lot of them. And I was like, oh my God,
wow.
this is crazy. So I ended up making Sephora Squad in 2021, and I moved to LA. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself a year. I'm going to see how this goes. I've never even been to LA in my life. I don't even know if I'm going to make it the next 6 months. I didn't know anybody. I was like, well, here we go.
You're like, I want to change.
I want to change. I might as well do it. My intuition was really telling me. That year, I was like, I'm going to follow my intuition.
Yes.
So I asked for a divorce. I asked for separation. And here I am moving to Cali. So like I said, I moved to my mom's house. I told my mom, I'm going to move to LA. And she's like, well, when are you going to do this? Like 3, 4, 5 months? I go, no, in about a couple of days. So
And did the Sephora people help you get down here?
no.
You did it on your own?
Yeah, I did it on my
So
own.
you felt like you made it. You felt like you made it big at Sephora. You left your man and you skipped town.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm
it
just
was
joking.
a long time coming.
I'm just kidding.
We were already separated, but I just feel like I was in a small town and I knew that I wasn't going to get anywhere. That's what it was. It didn't have anything to do with anybody. It was just, you know what? If I'm going to do this full time,
This is what I got to do.
that job that I love, that I'm quitting, I better just go big or go home.
Facts.
So I'm going to have a lease for 6 months. So that's what I was thinking. But I ended up doing a lease for a year. And
So you had money saved up.
yeah, I had money saved up because my little Amazon links was giving me I barely got some money, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know how much. I didn't realize how much money you would make on Amazon links, and
Through the TikTok.
the TikTok,
It's
because
affiliate marketing, correct?
yes, it's commission. And once you're on this Amazon commission basis, it goes up. So before it would be like 2-3%. Now it's like at 15, 20. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. So I saved my money, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to go head on over there, live the Cali life. I told my kids, I go, okay, I'm leaving. See you guys later. And I left. And when I tell you, I went, and I have not lived in an apartment for the longest time. Like, remind you, I'm 40. How old was I? 42, 42
If you don't mind me
years
asking,
old.
how old are you now?
I'm 46.
Okay.
I was 42, and I was like, what am I doing? I live in an apartment that's like 650 feet. Like, what a square feet.
Or like
I'm
$1 million.
I'm just like, what am I doing? It took me a minute. I got COVID actually 2 months after I moved here, and I was sick for like 24 days. It was horrible. My son had just came to visit me, and he called my mom, and he was like, Grandma, your daughter is sick, and I don't know if she's okay or not. My mom was pissed off at me because I did not call her. But anyway, I was here for like 4 or 5 months. We started working with Sephora. I started doing campaigns. I'm not even going to lie. The first 4 months working with Sephora, it really humbled me, because before, like with your content, you can do or say whatever you want. With Sephora, you cannot. You know, when you do sponsored ads, there's words that you can't say. Like, you can't say, oh, that's really going to hydrate my skin and it's going to help with my fine lines. You can't say that. You have to say visibly helps with fine lines and wrinkles. Like, there's a lot to this that a lot of people think that
Vernacular and language.
yeah, it's just the aesthetic of it behind the scenes is a lot. And so I learned a lot, and then I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I want to quit. And I was like, I need to put my big girl panties on, and this is what you asked, this is what you wanted, this is why you're here. Like, you need to get into it, girl, and make some money.
Focus.
And that's what happened. I started working with them. I had 2-3 campaigns with Sephora each month. Like, it was a lot.
Meaning, like, what were you doing?
So I was doing skincare. I was doing makeup. I was working with a lot of big brands, Urban Decay, Fenty, It Cosmetics. I think one of the first partnerships that I ever had was Good Molecules. They paid me $2,500 for my TikTok video, and I was like, this is how much money I can make. Okay. And so, because I was always working 2 to 3 jobs, paycheck to paycheck, I was in debt. I had bad credit score. And I think for me, I was like, my credit score is going to change. I'm going to pay all my bills. That's what my goal was. And I did within the first 6 months.
Nice.
So I worked with Sephora for 2 years. My contract ended last year in January, and I've just been hustling since. I still sometimes work with them, but I've created a lot of relationships with brands. Just recently, I just worked with the new launch with Fenty Beauty.
Nice.
So it's just like you have to meet the people behind the scenes.
Yes.
To really get your name out there. But I put in a lot of work for the past 3 years that I've been doing this, and well, actually 4 years. And, it's, hard work does pay off. I didn't step on anybody's toes. I didn't use anybody's platform.
What exactly do you do, though? Like, what is it that you do with
So I'm
these products?
I'm a full-time content creator. And what I do is I review the product and I tell you what it does, how you use it when it comes to skincare or when it comes to makeup products. I also do makeup 101s, skincare 101s. So I share a lot of knowledge that I have learned. I've been reviewing products all my life, and I feel like people have always asked, like, Sonia, what's the latest eyeshadow palette? Or what's your favorite eyeliner? What's your favorite this or that? And I'm just really good at reviewing, and I'm very honest. Very, very honest. So that's why a lot of brands respect me and they work with me, because I'm honest. And, you know, a lot of people follow me because I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So if you go on my page, don't think that this little old lady is going to fool you. I cuss a lot in a lot of my platform.
No, you're super Mexican. You sound super Mexican.
Yeah.
Like, I love.
I'm your Thea that you never have, the Thea that's going to tell you the truth.
Yes.
The Thea that you need in your life. Yeah.
Have you ever had like a big brand tell you like you didn't like it or whatever, and you were like, no, like, and you had like a bad review?
Estee Lauder, Double Wear. I said that's the wackest product in 2023 and continues to be the wackest product in 2024. When I tell you they emailed me the next day wanting to do a partnership with me, I told them no. I say no to money all the time. I'm like, no, because my integrity means more important and building a community and being honest than me just making it. I mean, it's easy. Like I could sit there and lie 20 products and tell you, oh yeah, it's good, knowing damn well it's not.
It's just terrible.
Mostly people do that though. There's a lot of people that do it. I know a lot of people that do it. I'm just not one of them.
And that's why you've made it so far in such a little bit of time. Even though, you know, 4 years is a long time, but there's a lot of people that's been in this industry for way, way longer. And you didn't even have to go to school for it.
I didn't have to go to school for it because I knew, but I know a lot about makeup and I know about skin. And that's the most important thing is if you know about your skin, then you know a lot about makeup because you have to know what your skin type is. Like there's a whole recipe for this. We can talk about skin all for 2-3 hours, but we don't have that time. But I just feel like,
and they could follow you for that.
Yeah, you can follow me for that. I just feel like if you're not ready to hear the truth, don't follow me. If you're ready for honest reviews, and I told everybody, you guys need to get ready because I'm moving to my house. I just bought a house.
That's right.
Congratulations.
And around here in LA by myself, I think it's one of those things where you want to manifest things.
Yes, of course.
And so I said to myself, in 2024, I want to be debt free. But I was already debt free, but I need to stop spending money on some dumb shit. And I want to buy a house. And that's what I did. As soon as my divorce got final, I went and got a loan. And it took me a minute to find a house, but I found it. And so I'm going to be moving next month.
Nice.
And I'm just like very overwhelmed. But I told everybody, get ready. Because when I'm settled in that house,
It's going down.
There's a lot of content going on.
there's a lot of negative reviews going to happen because I gave so many women the chance to do whatever they got to do, and I have to come back because I was really focusing on makeup.
I see what you're saying.
I was focusing on makeup. You know, I created a standard or a blueprint for women over 40, 50, and 60 to do this because you want to inspire a lot of people,
Yes.
but you also want to put them women in check that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing and giving negative or even bad information out there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And so I'm like, I have to come back to skincare because you guys are giving the wrong information and I just cannot do that. I didn't do all of this for you guys to fuck it up. Like I'm not.
Yes.
Like I'm not doing it. Like I let you guys slide. I let you guys do what you got to do. But
coming
Sonia's back. Sonia's coming back. What Sonia says and what Sonia's recommendations are, it's going to come. It's coming. And I was like, I'm ready. It's coming. I'm coming back to 2020 when I first started
And do you
really
have
reviewing
other people
products.
that do this with you, or it's just you?
No, it's just me.
It's just you.
I think for me, I have a lot of friends that do what I do. A lot of them are young. When I go to events, I'm probably the oldest one there, besides the people that work the food. Yes, especially people that are working in the, for the brand and stuff like that. But I'm one of the oldest. And, when I first came, they were just like, who's this? Is this somebody's Tia, somebody's mom? Is this somebody's plus one? Who's this person? Everybody knows who I am now because I made a presence. And I just feel like if you are yourself, a lot of people don't like that either. Like you either get it or you don't. And sometimes when people ask me like, girl, what do you think of this? I go, don't tell me. Don't ask me if you don't want the truth. Or like if I see some of my friends messing up, I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But people think, oh, you're hating, Sonia. No, I'm not hating. And that's the difference between ages.
Yes, I agree. Because it happens to me all the time. Not like, I'm hating. I don't get that. But it's like, because I'm just like, no, you don't do it like this way. Don't do that because you're making yourself look this way, And I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm just letting you know because I care as a friend,
I think, talking to somebody with friendships, I think in your 40s is a little bit different. Sometimes your friends are very sensitive. And then some friends you can talk to like that. So I think it's very important to like know your friend and be like, okay, this is how I need to talk to my friend versus I'm just going to talk to my friends all the same way. Because some of them are sensitive and, you'll hurt their feelings and stuff like that. So I'm just like, now that I'm older, I care more about that. As before, I didn't. I just said what I said and I said it.
Yeah. And now you kind of do watch yourself.
Now I watch myself because I'm like, I should have said that.
So right now you say you're like one of the older ones in this music. I'm always with the music, right? In this makeup beauty industry. And there's younger girls that probably don't like that you say things, but it's like you have more experience. You're just older. You've seen different types of skin, like you just know more. But obviously, like you say, even in the beginning, like younger people don't like us to tell them anything. They want to learn, and then later on, they're like, "Oh man, I should have listened to the lady."
I think for me now that they know me, they respect me.
Nice.
That's what it is. It's more respect, and so I have a lot of friends that are young.
Me too.
And I'm just like, and it's like. It's nurturing too. Like when I ask them, are you okay? They start crying. Or are you having a bad day? Because we recognize it. We recognize that. And so I think when you recognize it and you show them that you care, they're like, oh no. So they hold on to you for dear life.
And it feels good as well, right?
Yeah, it feels good because they respect that and they respect you as a person. And you're just one of those people that are like, oh no, she's cool. You don't want to mess with her. Just
like she's nice, fool. Like don't be a jerk.
Yeah, she's nice. Yeah, like she's cool. Like
don't piss her off.
No, they'd be like, hey, if she don't like you, just stay away from her.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know that I don't like you, you can feel that energy.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like,
well, I'm glad I didn't feel that energy. No. Hey, I was trying to hold it. No. So tell me about what's your favorite part of your job? Like as far as like the skincare stuff, like what's your favorite part?
I think when it comes to skincare, I think being consistent and then actually sharing your knowledge. I think when you educate women that don't know nothing what's going on, I think it's really important to help women really find themselves, and that's through skincare, honestly. I think if you take care of your skin, you'll feel better about yourself and you'll look at yourself a little bit different. And self-love is very, very important. Self-love can look like many things. So self-love can be like skincare. You can do your makeup. You can do whatever that makes you feel happy. But like when I do a video, I want one person to learn something from it. I don't need 20, 30, 40, 50K people to just view it. I want somebody to learn from it. And I think that's the most important thing. So when it comes to figuring out like, okay, will this makeup tip help somebody or will this skincare tip help somebody? I think that's my focus because it's all about education and actually making sure that education is correct. You just don't want to put anything out there and then.
Well, how do you know if it's correct or not?
Because it is, girl.
Because Sonia said.
Hashtag Sonia says.
No, seriously.
No, it's trial and error.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you this. When I started skincare, I would put like 4 or 5, 10 products on my face. And now that I'm older, everybody's skincare needs are different. When you're in your 30s, your whole point is trying to figure out your life. And when it comes to hydration, that's the most important thing. When you're in your 40s, you hit menopause, you hit perimenopause, you're going through hot flashes and stuff like that. And people don't like to talk about that. So I talk about menopause.
Yes.
And I think once you start the conversation, then you'll start seeing a lot of people that copy you, because, they don't have no creativity. It's me against 10 white women. Let me just be clear. I'm the only Mexican. And so when it comes, and because I'm light skinned, it probably helps me a little bit, but it's my mouth that doesn't help me. You know what I mean? I have a lot of friends that are like, Sonia, if you like kind of kick back with the cussing, then you'll be more a lot of people will want to work with you, which is lies, because I'm working with Nivea, Johnson & Johnson. Like I'm working with a lot of brands that a lot of people told me that I wouldn't work with because of my mouth.
Wouldn't you say that your relatability is what resonates with people.
That's what it is. It's being authentic and it's being true to myself. And I think a lot of times when people meet me, they're like, you really act like that. I go, why would I act something different? Because I see that in the back end. I see a lot of people acting a certain way. And then when you meet that person, they act totally different. And you're just like, oh, okay. I have two different people.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. And so I think that's why a lot of people love me. So when people do meet me or they see me out in the streets, Disneyland, TJ Maxx, Sephora, anywhere, they're like, I get different reactions because it's what video touched you, and it's like, how long have you been following me? How long have you've seen the transition that I have made? So a lot of people are like, they cry, they give me speeches, and sometimes for me, I'm just very overwhelmed because I'm like, in the beginning I was like, what is going on?
Like, I'm just like you.
Yeah, I'm just like you. And I always, like, sometimes they freak out and I'm like, girl, it's okay. I'm just like you, girl. Calm down. We can't have a conversation when you're hyperventilating now, can we? And they're like, oh my God, thank you so much for making me feel better. And sometimes I give people negative ones. You know what? And
what was the worst one?
I didn't even know it was negative until they told me. I didn't think it was negative. I think for me, they think that I don't know what people expect of me, honestly. And when I meet people that I love, like, I don't have no expectations for them. I just want them to be nice. And if they're not nice, then I say that they're not nice.
Yeah, you're not being nice.
I wanted to meet one person, and when I met her, she was really, really nice to me. I respected her because she was a business owner. She runs businesses, and she makes these sunglasses that I love. And when I met her, she gave me a really good, just a really good experience versus some of my other friends, she didn't. And I was just like, what?
Maybe because it was you, so she had to behave a different way?
I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I try to give people good experiences, but somebody said that I was rude. And I was like, well, what did I say? Because I wanted to know. They're like, well, I told you this and that, and you were just rude. I go, what do you want me to do? Like, do cartwheels? I can't even do that, girl. I'm 46. Like, I have back problems. I have bad knees.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. So, I think I've given a couple of people like negative ones. Maybe I was having a bad day. I do not know.
You're human, bro.
But since then, I'm like, oh, I better be nice. Like, it turns on really quickly because I want them to have a good interaction with me, because I've had some negative ones and I know how it is. So I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just depends on the vibe too. Like, if your vibe is very aggressive and you want me to be aggressive with you, then tone it down. And then it's all about energy for me. So I like exchange the same.
For sure. I am the same way. I don't like to be like, to be nice. There's I feel like there's like no need for that, especially when you're in your 40s already. Like, because we've already experienced different types of, different lives.
Yeah, different lives.
Bad, the best, our lowest, our highest. And I feel like, well, at least for me, like, my 40s have been like kind of my best. And it's only been 2 years. So I feel it's only going to get better. And it all depends. If I wanted to get better, it's going to be because of me. Because when you said when you're 30s, you're just still kind of finding yourself. In your 40s, you're like,
like, you know better now.
Yes.
And you know what you're going to deal with, and you know what you're not going to deal with. And that's part of that. And also, menopause plays a really big part too, because it brings you into hot flashes, and it also provides depression, and it also provides a lot of things that aging of darkness. That's what I call it. I call it the teenage years, because it reminds me of just like in my teenage years when I got my bad skin. I was going through it. Same thing with the 40s. Like, once you hit menopause, it's like different.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if I hit it yet, right? But obviously, you start going through those changes way before you actually stop getting your period kind of vibes.
Yeah,
is that like a thing?
Yeah, it's a so right now I'm a perimenopause. You can start hitting menopause when you're 35.
My mom started at 39.
Brain fog, you tripping all the time, you not remembering anything, which is brain fog. But brain fog can be many different things. Your deodorant doesn't work anymore and you smell. That's why the old ladies use a lot of fragrances.
Sure, I guess I never thought about that.
Yes, skincare isn't working. Your skin gets drier. Your lids get oily. Just you get depressed, you start getting anxiety before, like in your 20s and like early 30s, like you just go with the flow, and now you can't really go with the flow anymore because of it. And I feel a lot of people don't talk about anxiety and depression when it comes to perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. It's all about dryness for everybody. Just a lot of things going on with the woman. I think it's just a transition, and I think it's very important to talk about it. So if like
I love that you're talking about it.
So like if you're going through perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, you're not alone. I feel like women need to talk about it, discuss it. I also feel like if you have daughters, discuss that, because I think it's very important. It's a really good conversation to have, like you have a conversation about sex with your kids. You need to have a conversation with your daughters about self-love, self-acceptance, menopause, who they're in a relationship with when it comes to love, friendships, and family.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like setting boundaries and having that boundary is okay. But yeah, boundaries was a lot for me when I learned about boundaries, for the last couple of years. And I think it's really important to set them. And a lot of people don't like that.
That was one of my things for this year, like boundaries. I'm like, I'm setting boundaries.
Them healthy boundaries.
And you have to actually say it.
Yeah, I don't like that. Don't do that. And this is the reason why I don't like it. And I feel disrespected if you don't listen to what I'm telling you. Like, listen to what I'm saying.
But what if their boundaries is like, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying?
Well, then you're not in my life.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, which is boundaries. Like, and I feel like a lot of younger people are afraid to voice what they don't like, or, what they're willing to put up with, what they're not willing to put up with. Like, for example, I tell the younger kids, like, don't get married with your first boyfriend. Like, give yourself, or girlfriend, because we have sons. I'm always like, son, live your life, have different girlfriends. He's not a mujeriego. He doesn't have lots of girlfriends like that. He's, he sets boundaries. He's like, I don't like this, mom. I told her I didn't like this, and that. And I love that he's able to do that. And he's 21, so it just kind of says what kind of man he's going to be when he gets older, because he's willing to set boundaries already. And younger girls that come from like toxic relationships, if you say set a boundary, they're like, well, that's not good. I don't like that. Or vice versa. Like the guys, I don't like you talking to this person. It's like, bro, this person's been in my life for this long. You just can't come into my life and think I'm going to change it because you're the newest person in my life.
Yeah, because boundaries are very important. And that includes like your mother and father. If you don't want to answer the phone, don't answer the phone. If you don't want, like my kids, I'd be like, do not bug me from this time to this time. Thank you so much. And then they still do. I just ignore them, and then they get mad. And then I have to, okay, first of all, I'm working, number one. Number two, I will call you when I have time. I'm a mom, yes, but I'm not a mom when I'm working. I was like, and you guys don't need to have that time, like that access to me like you used to. I was like, you guys are older. Like, get it together.
Was that hard for you?
It was hard to set boundaries, but it's one of those things that it's a must. Like, you have to do it, because if you don't, then they're going to walk all over you. Yeah. And you have adult kids. Like, no one talks about adult children either. I think when I was raising my kids too, I was young and I didn't know any better. And to now I'm like, I talk to them. I'm like, no, this is what's going to happen if you do that. But hey, that's your life. If that's what you want, that's your business. That doesn't have anything to do with me. And I think women, aka moms, especially when their sons are dating, need to let them go and let them live their life. And I think a lot of times it's hard for moms. It was hard when my son went to college, and like the first one to always get you because he wasn't my kid. He was like my friend. We were raised together.
You guys were only 15 years apart.
Yeah, so I was like, we were raised. And so versus the youngest one is just like, he's just like me. I have a son that is just like me, that we do not get along. We're always beefing all the time. You always have that one kid you're always going to beef with, but it's good. It's like, oh, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's communicate. And it's really important too, if you feel like your kids need therapy, put them to therapy. Get them to therapy. Even now, like I tell my kids, you need therapy. I will pay for your therapy. Please just
Go talk to somebody.
go talk to somebody else because I can't hear your problems.
And your kids still live in Washington.
Yeah, they all live there. I live here by myself.
How old was your youngest when you came to Los Angeles?
He was 17.
Oh.
And what made him not want to come with you?
He was like, well,
Did you give him the option?
I did.
Fire. Perfect.
I said, Mario, you're going to come and live with me. And he came for 3 weeks and he's like, no, this isn't for me. I think LA is not for everybody. And I think when you live in a small town, and his graduation class was literally 32 people, I think.
Everyone knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody. It's a small little town. I think for him, it was very hard.
Of course, he's 17 years old. He has his whole life.
Yeah, and he has his girlfriend. And don't get it twisted. Them little girlfriends will pick. As we know, boy moms, the son will pick the girl. So that's what happened. But you know what? I love Matt. No, I know. I love his girlfriend. His girlfriend, keeps him on his toes, and she's just like me. So I wasn't really worried about it. But
obviously, because you see the behavior of the girl.
Yeah, but then
now if she was like a crazy girl, like
I'm like,
I
no.
think now's the perfect time for you to tell your crazy girlfriend story.
Oh God. So I'm just going to say this little part, right? And I'm happy that my son was like, no. All right.
Oh, okay.
So his girlfriend, she was starting to stay the night, which is okay, come on his days off. But she wanted to like move in. And I told her, if you're going to want to stay, I need to speak to your parents. She would avoid that. So it was like, and it was like almost like 3 weeks. And she's like, I'm like, okay. Right. Even my son was like in this funk. Like, I don't know what it was.
He was locked in the room, boy.
Like, it just didn't feel right. And I've told him like, hey, you guys are too young to be acting like you're married, bro. Like that, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. Like, it's not okay. Especially because, I'm married. Like, we know what it is. Like, it's not what you think it's going to be.
And not only that, like we didn't necessarily feel comfortable leaving the little girl in our household while we're not home.
Like, we didn't know her yet.
So sometimes we would take her with us without her son being with us. Like, so this little girl is now acclimated to be part of our family. Like, hell no.
And
with this little baby
from one
right
day
here.
to another. Like, and it's not like I didn't want to bring her, but it's like, I'm not going to leave Oh, he's a different story. But, I didn't mind, but I'm not going to leave you by yourself in my house yet. I don't trust you. And I told her, I might have been bad, but hey, that's how I am. I'm being honest. And you are.
So we come to, I'm going to skip a little bit.
Okay.
So we come to this junction where I'm like, yo, I don't think this little girl needs to be living in our household like this. She's spending the night every day, every other day, maybe on Friday or Saturday after the movies. Okay, spend the night.
Yeah, he's 21. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but don't live in my house.
So I told
without
her
paying rent.
Yeah. So I told her, she would do the dishes. If you're gonna be in my house, you're gonna do my dishes. You're gonna work. Because it's just the way it is. Every household. My son throws out the trash, whatever. So I told her, hey, you can't be here anymore.
Basically, I told my wife, like, today is the day that we need to ask her to kick rocks. Cause
I felt bad. Like, I felt like devastated. Like I was throwing this girl to the streets. But she had her house with her mom, and she acted like her parents were the worst. Whatever, right? So as soon as that happened, the next day she comes with her sister. They were gonna almost beat me up. Yes, she said, I'm just here. I just want to know why you think my sister is toxic. You have her doing the dishes like she's a slave. Like, girl, first of all, she's going to be in my house. She's going to do the dishes.
She did the dishes like twice.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. You get what I'm saying? So it was like so crazy.
Am I wrong for that? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, you guys are toxic. And then you want to talk to my parents? What kind of weirdo people are you guys? You professional shit talker, because obviously that's what he says on his Instagram. Professional shit talker, like, And the little girl did not say not one thing, was a sister.
They were saying so many weird things, like you guys aren't for the charity. You guys are just doing it for, I don't know what she was saying.
It was like
Everything that we posted on her Instagram, she like tried to dissect. Like, it was just strange.
so yeah.
But it was so crazy.
Back
'cause
to
the
what
girl
we
was
how we,
just-
with the what we started. If the little girl's okay, you feel comfortable, but it's just like it didn't feel okay, and we voiced it. But my son had his boundaries, and he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna ever talk to this girl again because she was extremely disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've seen other people like.
What's your analysis of
their
this, Sonia?
sons
Sonia
chose the
says what
girlfriend.
about this situation?
Because we want to know what Sonia thinks.
About our self-care, about kicking that bitch out.
Honestly, I think it's your household, and I just feel like your son has to respect that, especially if he's living in your household.
And he did.
And I think he probably seen the bigger picture because he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that she came, didn't say anything about what her sister was disrespecting us.
The best part is he's at work, and is this as this is transpiring, I call him. And for me to call him during his work hours is like, that's like an emergency type
Yeah,
of scenario.
that's SOS.
Yeah,
Yes.
why am I calling? I'm so locked into doing all of these things that we do. I don't care about nothing. So he called, and I put him on speaker. I said, Marlon, why is your girlfriend right here behaving this way?
Because according to
While they're
everything-
going crazy, while the sister's going crazy, and he's like, oh, his exact reaction was, oh my God.
And he's a smart
That shit was
boy.
fire.
He's a good boy. And it's like crazy because everything was just bad for him that whole month. As soon as the next day she
He
was
was
gone,
he was back to normal.
it's like this energy was gone. He had a better shift. Everything, like he got in 2 car accidents. It was just bad. Thank God. Like as soon as that happened, he came back to his real self, like back to him.
Because I think for him it was too much. And because he didn't voice it, he was just dealing with
And he
it.
was just happy he was getting it.
Yeah. Basically, he was just like, oh, okay, well, she's going to be here. I think it stressed him out
Yeah.
because he has 2 women that he loves or that he respects in the same household, and you're not having it. And I think luckily for you, it didn't backfire on you, honestly, because sometimes the boys will pick the girls and
Yeah.
be like, oh, no, I'm leaving. You see that. And I feel like for me, I've learned many years ago that I just mind my business. I let them do whatever. But if they ask me, then I'll tell them how I feel about it. But, I have 2 grandkids now. So I'm like, now it's like, it's difficult because now there's like 2 grandkids.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 grandsons at that.
You're only boys.
Yeah, so
that?
my oldest one is 7, and then I have one that's 11 months. His name's Hero. But yeah, I just came
cute.
from Washington to go and see them. But I try not to go visit them a lot because they get really like sick when I leave. And I'm like,
Separation anxiety.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, let me go there every like 6 months because before I would go there like every 3 months, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of, trying to live my life outside of them now, which is hard because that's all I did for all my life. Now it's like, it's me time.
But it's you time in a good way.
Yes.
Like you're doing so much for yourself. You're doing amazing.
Yeah.
You're helping women find themselves and what you do, and you love to do that.
Yeah. Just helping women find themselves at the same time, learning about myself and sharing that. I think it's really important to share your journey as you go through it
Yes.
too. So I just think a lot of people don't like to talk about a lot of topics. So I think for me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, when it comes to kids and who they're with, most of the time we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But luckily for you, he respected. He
Thank
was
God.
just like, thank you, Mom, for helping me.
Because he cried. Like, what? Sorry, son. Hopefully he doesn't watch it. But like, he was sad. Like, sad that I asked her to leave, and I was sad. But then.
That I asked her to ask them.
Yeah, because I'm like, look, I gotta hurt my son's feelings, but I understood at the same time. Like, I don't want to have my son living like he's married. Like, no, you're too young. Live life, babe. But I feel like that happened for a reason, and it happened the next day, and everything was like, okay.
So how long ago was this?
That was just freaking December.
Oh, it was recent.
Super recent. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how is he now?
Oh, he's doing great. And then also his cat passed away at the same time. So it was like a lot. It was a lot.
He was going through it.
He definitely went through it in that month. Yeah. But he's good. He's good. Yeah. He's a good boy. You know, he watches his little brother. He's there. He's responsible. He obviously, I'm just thankful that he's not like a drug addict and he's not like a street boy like that. And you know, it's like he's not having a gang of girls. He takes his time. He's a good boy.
Which is good, because it's all about finding your worth. I think boys tend to like date all kinds, because when you have kids that are athletes, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's not.
It's bad.
Was your son, one of your children, the quarterback?
Well, he was an athlete, but he played basketball.
Was he a star player?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
And he would go like all these girls. I'd be like, oh Lord.
It was a lot for you.
Yeah, because I had to check him. Like, okay, what are you doing?
Are you using protection kind of vibes?
Yeah. I think for him, I had a good relationship, you know, for him to tell me that when he first had sex, he told me.
Your oldest.
Yeah. My second one, he's like he told me everything too. My son Elijah, he waited because he's seen his two brothers go crazy, and then that's why I tell my youngest too. I was like, he's from a small town now, so he has that small little love story. He's gonna be with her forever. Like,
you see it.
I see it. I visually see it, and so you recognize it. You're like,
no.
But that's nice and wholesome.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very wholesome, and I'm like,
whose
kid is this?
It's yours, you know, they're all different.
Yeah. All your kids are different though too. They're all different. They're all gonna do different things, and they all came from the same household. And you're just like, where did I fuck up on this one?
Hey, let me ask you, and how do they feel about you? You know, you're this TikToker.
They're proud of me. I think for them, they're just like, oh, mom has money, so let me ask her for some $20. Let me ask you for this. I do help them out. In the beginning, I would help them out a lot. Now I'm like,
like, bro, you're 30 years old. Get it together.
Like, no. But what does hero need? What does hero need? Then I'll go and I'll Amazon a whole bunch of packages to my grandkids. I had this conversation, like, I don't even care. Like, he can tell me that he wants something, I will buy it. I do not care.
My mom always says that you love your grandkids more than you love your own.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. Like, you love them, they bring joy to your life, and you just want to squeeze them. Versus your kids, you just look at them and you're just like, I'm over you.
Let me ask you a question that's been plaguing some of my TikTok friends that are really popping. What are your thoughts on the possibility of TikTok not being welcomed in the United States of America?
Oh, I know. I think a lot of us will probably get affected by it, because that's where we make most of our money, is through that platform.
So you're not going to move to Mexico now?
No, I'm not going to move to Mexico. But I just feel like with your money and the money that you make, you need to invest in it and you need to save. I think it's very important, especially as a content creator, especially for me. I'm full time. Like, I rely on brands and brand deals. And so I just think, it's a good point to go to like YouTube and
I was about to ask you that right now.
Instagram and like do other things, because I think a lot of times too, people are so close-minded to just one thing that you can pop off and be on other things. So I do want to start a podcast, but it's not even going to be about beauty. It's going to be like this, where it's going to be about honest conversations. And I also think too,
honest conversations. I love that.
Yeah, like very honest. I think it's a very important, and I don't see women doing that one-on-one, especially because women that are older now are like, they're always by themselves and they don't trust anybody. They don't have a women's group. And I think it's very important for women to have women.
I agree.
I do. And it's very hard for women, especially women that struggled, that the women did them dirty, did this, did that, to have that. And I think it's very important. It's very nurturing to have women to support you.
I'm down with women's groups, but I've been in prison and I've been in a lot of rehab. So I know that those groups do work.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about like actually having like friends like call you up and be like, hey, You haven't really been posting. Like, what's going on with you?
So like straight up wellness check.
Straight up.
No,
There's not a lot of women
I
that
do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you haven't.
Yeah, but do you have people do that for you?
No.
That's my point. And so
That's why I'm here.
that's why I'm going to be there. Well, yeah, I mean, you're her other half, but she needs women in her life. You need women in your
All
life.
she needs is me, Sonia. Trust me.
Oh my God.
No,
Icon
she
said,
needs,
"Stop
she needs
fucking
me.
her up."
She needs me and she needs you. Okay?
I was like, don't.
Beefing, like, we're like,
No.
no, I think it's important. I need to say that because I feel like you get different views of women. And I think it's very important that people share, their life with you and then actually really care for you too. And yeah, there's not, and in your 20s and 30s, you don't get that.
No, at all.
You don't.
Oh, I love that. I'm happy that I met you. Shout out to Cherry.
My
She's like
homegirl
my
does.
friend. You know?
I think because when people have one-on-ones with me or like I sit and have conversations with people, they're just like, oh, you're more than that. And I think that's really important to get personal and like give back to the community. And that's what my goal was for this year too, is give back to the community. So I do like a lot of like behind the scenes, like working with kids. Like I just went, where did I go? Ramona, where? Yeah, I just went to Ramona Gardens to do like a skincare routine for all the youngsters.
How cool
To the
is
project?
that?
The hazard projects?
Yeah,
Fire.
I went.
Hey, that's super cool.
But you know how hard it was to have a conversation with them kids that don't give a It was very hard. I think when I went, I was like, okay, I told the girl that asked me, I was like, girl, what do you want me to talk about with these kids? Like,
Look, next time
they're harsh.
you probably needed somebody that's more like
No, I went up in there and I adjusted really quickly because I pay attention to a lot of things around my environment. So I'm like,
Picked up
okay,
on all the social cues?
I was like, this isn't going to work real quick. So I asked them questions. I was like, oh, so what do you like? What kind of makeup do you like? Oh, what do you guys do this? What do you guys do that? Do this and do that. And then their whole demeanor changed after like 10 minutes. But if it was like another content creator that just went, they wouldn't have even, they wouldn't have cared. They wouldn't have even given you the time of day. They would have just looked at you.
You are Mexicana.
Listened to you. And then they would have been like over you. But I think, the second time I went to go drop off their stuff, it was a totally different vibe. Like they were like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" They all gave me hugs.
themselves.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they followed you at that point and they were like, oh, shit.
Yeah. This
She's
girl's
down.
crazy. Like she really is about what she says she
That's
is.
right.
Because there's one thing to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something for you," versus you doing it and you showing up for them and
Action
you
is better
giving
than
them
you know.
advice.
It's what they say. Action speaks louder than words.
Yeah. And so they get a lot of people saying that they're going to do stuff and then don't show up. So I was like, oh, no, I'm not one of them people.
That's
like
not
when
what
I
saying
say,
shit. No, just
yeah, like when I say that I'm going to be somewhere or do something, I will do it. And I think people get shocked about that because, like where I'm at in my space. And I'm just like, hey, I'm just like everybody else. Like people need to remain humble
Yes.
and not take advantage of what you have.
Yeah. Because that could be gone.
That could be gone in less than a minute. So I just feel like, you just want to be treated the way you want to be treated. So I have to treat people the way with respect. But yeah, I was just like, I don't think they liked me. And then, but then when I seen them again, I was like, oh, I guess they did. But we did do some services and stuff for them. And I just think it's really important to give back. Just, I have a lot of friends that we get a lot of free stuff. Oh, I just took it to the domestic violence. Oh, no, I'm going to take it a step further. Let me make bags and then let me do one-on-ones with them. So let me do that. Give my time.
It probably feels better.
Yeah, it feels better because you have that one-on-one connection and they know.
That you're
Versus,
just there.
here's a product, figure it out.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
dope.
important.
And that's why you're probably even more blessed because you actually take the time to sit there with somebody and explain to them, not for the money, but because it's going to help them and it helps you within yourself.
Yeah, because you want to inspire people when they're down.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think when you are in a space of domestic violence, you're already in your deepest, darkest, like the most bottom. Like
That's
you don't
the worst.
That's the worst. And so when you try to build yourself up, you want women to inspire that.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important when it comes from women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
agree.
think I just think it's important, and I also think sharing stories and like if they want to talk to you, to listen, because I think listening is very crucial to people too.
Listening is number one.
Listening is number one. Some people don't listen, but
But the older you get, the more wiser you get. If you're smart enough, even if you're smart enough, you'll do when you're young. But for some people, it takes longer. But do you have anything else to ask?
How much makeup are you wearing right now? Because it looks like it could be natural, but I'm also aware that it could be a gang of makeup to make the natural look.
so I'll tell you what it is. I'm wearing Fenty. I'm wearing actually the new launch. It's called the Soft Lit Foundation from Fenty. And it's a luminous foundation. It's medium coverage. It's buildable. So I sheared it out, meaning it's just like a light coverage. The second product that I put was blush. I'm a blushaholic. I love
So you
blush.
got foundation and blush.
Blush, eyeliner,
That's normal.
highlighter,
Yeah, so it's not cake
mascara.
down is what I'm saying. I don't know
No,
shit about makeup, right? I'm a guy, so.
no, probably like 5 or 6 products. I feel like when it comes to makeup, everybody's makeup routine is a little bit different. The younger you are, the more makeup you have, the thicker it is. The older you are, the less makeup, because you want it to be like a 5-minute makeup look. Like you don't want to go extreme with things. But, since I've been here, I look at a lot of people's makeup. Like I kind of want to do a series of what's your favorite makeup product, even though like it ages them. It's really interesting.
I
to
agree.
see.
I
Like
agree.
especially the long eyelashes. I get it, girls. I get that you love the long little 22-inch lashes, but if you are in your 40s, you do not want that volume. That's too much volume, and it like weighs down the eye.
Yes.
So I just feel like there's tricks out there for you that you can still wear them. You just need to place them in different areas or cut them.
I think you guys should do a TikTok collab on prison makeup and the variations of shit that they had to make.
Yes, we should. We should do that.
We just use like the CoverGirl Maybelline kind of stuff in prison.
You guys
What
could
was like your top 5 products that you used in prison, like for makeup?
Well, I use baby lotion on my face. I use a regular writing pencil on my eyebrows because I've always been kind of like a light. I don't like to feel cakey.
Yeah.
And I use like the CoverGirl, the browns to the greens because our outfit was green, right?
Oh, snap.
And I'm a blush girl.
Oh, okay.
I'm a blush girl too. I just barely started doing like the contouring, and I don't even know how to do it, but I kind of pull it off. No, I survive. And obviously, I need to have the lip liner because I don't know how to wear lipstick, so I just wear lip liner, like still my chola vibes.
Okay. What's your favorite lip liner?
I use the NYX ones.
The NYX.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
What level of brand prestige does NYX have? Is that like an Adidas or Reebok, not Jordan or Nike?
It's Walmart.
But I only like
Target, I think.
I only like those.
Well, it is Target
I
because you
only
can get it at Target
But I only like those lip liners.
from NYX because they're long wear. Have you tried Sweet Streets?
I don't even know what that is.
Like I said, you guys get together. And do
But
some
like on
content.
my makeup, I use good makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think when it comes to like affordable and luxe makeup is what you can afford. I think I've always been about affordable makeup when I first started TikTok. But because I worked for Sephora, I got to use a lot of the more expensive products. And I feel like when you use luxe products, it's nicer. And once you get introduced to like Dior, that's my favorite, the Dior foundations, like then you'll know.
I've actually used it. Like I don't even use foundation anymore. I just use that makeup for everyone. And I like the way it makes, I like that because it makes me feel light. But I've used like the Fenty one. I've used the Too Faced. I've used like different ones, and I just don't like to feel like the greasy, shiny. Or maybe I'm just not doing it right.
But that's the thing is that like if you like a matte finish, you're always going to love a matte finish. And that's just the aesthetic that you love.
Yeah.
And I feel like for the past 3 years, I talked about the glazed donut, the luminous skin. And so
What is a glazed donut?
a glazed donut is, I didn't look like a glazed donut today, but I'm normally a glazed. But it's very dewy skin. It's like wet skin.
Got
Very
it.
shiny, very like you can, the manteca glow,
I'm just not down for the greasy shit.
I'm down for that shit. I love it.
Because maybe is it healthier on your skin?
It looks healthier. The older you get, the more hydrated your skin looks.
I need to get more hydrated.
Yeah,
for sure. You told me that too.
I'm gonna get you a skincare routine.
I'm down.
A weird observation is that the more wealthier people that I know, their wives have the more super luminous look. Like hers is mellow compared to some of the.
She's camera ready right now. That's why
I'm camera ready because I would have been very shiny.
Okay, so I know ladies. Well, my friends' wives are super shiny.
Oh yeah, me too. I love it.
See,
like
make
ladies shiny as.
I got this makeup for everyone because it's camera ready.
Yeah.
Or else I'm gonna look too shiny with all these damn lights.
Yeah. Yeah. So Fenty, the one that they just launched, it's luminous and radiant. It's not dewy. There is a difference, but I always was telling everybody, I want my skin to look like a glazed donut. And so a lot of brands shifted. And it was really interesting that I was part of that shift.
Nice.
Because I love luminous foundations. I want you to see me a mile away. I want you to look at me and say, oh, I could make a taco out of her, like fry the tortilla, make a little taco. There you go. But I think it's really important. Like everybody likes a certain thing. I think matte foundations are coming back, but I just bought a couple of them. But matte is really interesting because you can make it luminous. You can make it look like shiny versus a luminous you can't.
Because it's
already there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of makeup tricks and stuff like that, but we should definitely.
I'm so down.
Yeah, we should
learn just for myself because I always tell him like, hey babe, I think I want to take up one of those makeup classes just for myself. And he's like,
she literally said that shit the other day.
I tell him all the time, and you know what? Everything I say, he'll make it happen for me. Or he's like, just go use my card.
Look forward to me being messaging you, asking for a private session.
Yeah.
No, it's just for myself because like I'm getting older and I need to like take care of myself. Not that I don't, because I do watch what I eat. I do, I do things for myself, but I could be doing better.
Well, all of us can be doing better. I mean, I can go and eat healthy and work out, but I don't because I like to eat. But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my God, it's harder to lose weight. And, you just look back in your life and you're like, oh my God, I did this and I did that. Like, I was going to say that when I was working for Sephora, I got the opportunity to be on a billboard for Sephora in Times Square in New York.
Oh, how cool was that?
And
that's dope.
Yeah. And then I went and took my mom to see it. And we both were looking at it. And I was thinking the billboard was kind of small. No, it was huge.
Like,
I was like,
Times Square vibes?
No, yeah, like,
everywhere.
Yeah.
You know where Sephora is?
We've been.
It's on top of that. Yeah, that's where I was. And I was like, oh my God.
Because we stood in Times Square.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, I was like, this is crazy. New York is a different type of vibe for sure. But I was just like, man, the opportunities that you get. How
did you feel in your heart when you saw that and you're like, oh man?
I was like, girl, who is this? Who was on there? Jennifer Lopez was on there. There was 10 of us. So it was for Hispanic Heritage Month. I think when I got the news, I knew about it in August. So I was crying. I was a baby crying. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh, damn. This is real life.
Like I share a picture. I share my face with these women.
But it was like each one. So if you go back on my Instagram, I shared it. But it's like, it was me and what I said about Hispanic Heritage Month. It was Jennifer Lopez. It was Rare Beauty, Selena Gomez. And then there was 2 other women, but I was the only Mexican. Everybody else was like Colombian, Puerto Rican. Like, it was really interesting because I was like, man, how life just flipped.
That's how it goes.
And for me, and me deciding to just move to LA and just try to figure it out. But I've been here 3 years and here I am. I'm going to be an LA resident.
You're killing it.
About to move into a house. Get out that apartment.
Well, I went from the apartment and then I was like, I got to get out of this apartment. And then I rented a house. And then after my divorce was final, I asked my lawyer, can I get a house now? And she's like, yeah. So
why? Because who's getting alimony or what have you out of that situation?
Well, when you're going through a divorce, honestly, you can't do anything. You can't buy cars. You can't do any of that. So like, it's like on hold. Yeah.
So who got a bigger percentage of the assets?
It was split in half.
Huh.
He's not trying to see what's
But because
happening.
I made my money after.
Fire.
So
That's good.
yeah. But I'm a good saver. I was like, I set goals and
Secret savings?
yeah, I set goals for myself now, like bigger ones. So
She said, yeah.
And I'm like, what is secret savings?
Not on the books.
Which is the best way.
Damn.
Like my tooth vibes.
I'll make sure to search all your stash spots, homie.
No, I got stash spots.
I'm just fucking around.
He's crazy. This is what I gotta deal with. You know?
hey, but I mean, he balances you out.
No, honestly, we make it work. He gets on my nerves every day, but it's life. What husband doesn't get on your nerves, right? But he definitely uplifts me. He's helped me grow, and
Mhm. What is the one thing that you learned from him?
just to want more. Like it's not that I never wanted more, but now he makes it happen for me. Not like we make it happen for each other, but now it's like, no, I could do this for myself too.
Like your mind has expanded. Your visual
It's bigger.
is bigger.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times too, like when you come over here, and I have noticed that a lot of people's visions are very small, even though they live in a big city. It's
just
very,
wanted-
very interesting
Yeah,
to
like
me.
I just wanted to be okay, and like I said, whatever it is, like no, but now it's like no, this is I want more. I just don't want this. I want more. Like I visualize more.
Which is good for you guys because it's just going to elevate you. But everybody should think like that. Like you want your vision to be bigger. You don't want to sit in the same space every 5 years because I know people that are in the same space and it's been 25 years.
A common argument we have is that I'm spread too thin, which I am, but it's because I absolutely want to expand. And the more we expand, the more opportunities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know how it goes. So
And I get that, but you have to kind of stop and smell the roses too and enjoy it.
I'll let her.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing.
You.
He just
Because I know how it is. Like we're workaholics. Like, and you know what sucks too? And like I said, like when I went and got that billboard, I said, what's next? Instead of sitting there
enjoying it.
and enjoying it.
That's him.
And I see a lot, like me and you are a lot alike. And so I'm like,
because you know what he
You
just
have
said?
to.
You know what he just said? I would rather her enjoy it.
Yeah,
How
you
can
have
I
to- it's
enjoy
you.
it if you're there, like not even there?
yeah, it should be both. Like if you guys are having the same vision, you guys really definitely need to stop and smell the roses and enjoy it together. And I know, like it's like you're on to the next, but sometimes you just need to stop.
That's what my buddy, our main sponsor, Royalty Honey, who's actually in the building. He just walked in a little while ago. That's the number one
yeah?
thing he says. Hey, big dog, you need to go on a vacation. Well, because I vent to him about all my stressors or what have you. You know what I mean? But he's like, I'll even pay for your fucking vacation to get the fuck out of here. Like you need to.
And
Stop
and
take
I
a
feel
moment.
like the best thing
You do.
about the best
I
thing
haven't
about
took him up on that offer yet.
the
But
best
you
thing
need to
is
go.
that we could communicate. You see, and we don't have a problem. Even on like we're obviously people, we're gonna air it out, and we talk about it. And obviously, I think that's kind of healthy, like for us to like communicate, like what he said. Like I'd rather her, and I'm like, well, no, how can we do that if you're not mentally fully there? And we're okay with airing it out because we let it out. Whatever people want to make with it, like oh, they're fighting about. That's not how we look at it. It's like we're able to communicate. So it's total stranger. You know?
Yeah, but everybody, like when I get you in your space, you'll tell me all your business.
No, this is the worst. I
Yeah.
was fighting about that.
Yeah. I think, there's like when you're in a relationship, some of it needs to be private. I think people know that you guys are together. But I also feel like when you do communicate about certain things that you want to be fixed, communicate that real quick.
I don't think we necessarily do too much private type bickering on camera.
Yeah.
I definitely curate what's gonna be on camera because I control the content. You know, if it's too outlandish, I don't.
You're like, I'm not putting that. I'm taking that
And I'm
out
like,
real
put
quick.
it.
And I have my buddy who owns the food community. We used to do a show on there, which we should probably do on here, but it's called Eyekon. Obviously, that already sounds abusive, right?
It
Nevertheless,
sounds toxic.
it's fire. But
fire.
I would ask him. I mean, I would ask certain questions like current event questions about relationships or relationship news or whatever, and then he would ask about certain toxic behaviors that take place in the comments or other content creators that take shots or whatever, and that would be
But
it.
it's just called Eye because my name is Christina, and he's Eyekon. You know,
It's
That's
just
so cute.
cute.
it goes. But
Yeah, it's cute.
it's not about us. It's about you.
No,
What
it's
else?
about us. But yeah, you need to stop and smell the roses, and you need to go on vacation
Take me
ASAP.
Take me. She was like, you're on your own. She's like, I need my space.
No shit.
ASAP. Go on vacation, you two, and just you two
Yeah.
by yourselves.
Yeah.
No, I have to take my little baby.
Okay, well, do this. Go on vacation with your little baby, and then take your wife by yourself on a different vacation. You have the time and you have the
It's
money.
like he can't go anywhere and not take I'm okay with it. But it's like, then it's just the baby. Like, bro,
But that's what I'm saying. You can
it's
go
you
on
and
two
I.
vacations.
Yes.
Just do that, and then don't feel guilty because he's not there.
I don't feel guilty as this fool.
No, but I'm telling
Yeah.
him, don't feel guilty. Just like, you need that one-on-one. Don't you think?
Yeah, probably actually.
No, you guys need to date each other again.
Like, he's getting nervous right now. He's getting
I know.
nervous.
No, you need to date each other again, honestly. Like, I'm telling you, what it is. That's what it is. Like, just date each other. It's okay to leave your son at home while you're on vacation with your wife. It's okay. And then you can come back and be like, mijo, I'm so sorry. Let's go to Disneyland.
Yeah, that fool's 5. He's gonna survive.
He's gonna survive. He's gonna survive like a couple days, the weekend with you. You don't have to like go all out. Go to Vegas. Go to San Diego. Like, do that for your wife. Like, as much as you love your son, you love your wife too, and she's the one that gave you that baby.
I could have had him grown. No, I'm just kidding.
He's such a jerk. He's so annoying. He's annoying.
He's all.
Well, Sonia, tell me, is there anything that you want to share with us that you haven't shared
I think
about you, your routine, about anything?
about my routine. I don't have a life. I just like him and I just work. No, I think the most important thing that I will end this with is just make sure that you love yourself. And it can be in many different ways. I also encourage you to tell yourself that you love yourself when you get up in the morning and you look like a hot mess. Tell yourself that you love yourself. I think
Yes.
that's one of the best things that I can tell any woman, and a dude can do it, say it too. Kids, if you see your kids struggling, please get them help. And also, if you want to give back to the community, go give back to your community and actually be there, be present. It's one thing to just give out clothes, do this, do that, but it's a difference between you having a conversation with people with that. And if you want to be a social media content creator, there's no age limit.
Yes. I love that one. No age limit.
There's not, and I think I'm proof of that. And you can be Latina and be successful too.
Yeah, I agree. I've just started and I'm 40. I'm 41. I'll be 42. And it's like, oh, you're old. No, I'm not. We're perfect.
I think for me, because I always tell myself that I'm old, is because I started having kids young when I was 15.
That makes sense.
So I feel like my body hits a little different. It's like, oh, okay. Instead of getting out of bed, I roll out of bed. But yeah, that's I think that's what I have to say. I don't think when it comes to like what I do for a living, I think outside of it, how you
Yes.
treat people and you being just yourself. I think the biggest advice I can give somebody too is be yourself. If you're going to be out there putting yourself out there, you can't be 2-3 people.
I agree.
Be authentic.
Yes.
And if you cuss, cuss.
It's you. It's you. I agree. Well, thank you for sharing, Sonia.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, I mean that. We're buddies now.
Yeah, we're BFFs.
I'm gonna be checking on you. I don't know about BFFs, bitch, but I'm gonna be checking on you.
You're I don't know about BFFs, bitch.
But I will be. I will be one of the ones to check on you because I like to. It's what I do. I like to check on.
She doesn't have best friends because she don't trust anybody.
No, actually, no. I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that. I don't trust girls. No, I'm not. I'm not that one. I have all my friends, and I have a lot of them. I know a lot of people, but I have a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah.
That I've known since we were kids, and we're still friends.
Oh, that's
And we don't hang
awesome.
out. We're just like, hey, bitch, what's up? Are you okay? Yes, okay. I'm just checking on you. Hey,
You're like, just checking up on you. I'm busy.
or vice versa. I know everybody's busy. Or like when we have birthday parties, hey, they invite things like that. But I don't necessarily really hang out with
Because you're
everybody.
busy.
Yeah, unless we're going to concerts, girls' night. I do those.
Girls' night.
I do those. I'm okay. I don't, be like, hey, I'm going to a concert. That's not his vibe. So he was like, okay. I was like, I'm going with the girls. Cool. Things like that.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting.
It works.
Yeah. I think for me, when it comes to friendships and stuff, it's all about vibes too. I have like a lot of different friends that work and some are content creators and some aren't. Most of them aren't.
My close ones aren't.
Yeah, mine aren't either. But I know every time I do brand stuff, they're like, oh, can you say bestie? And I was like, no, we can't. I don't talk like that.
Yeah, I'm not a bestie girl. That's my friend, I don't even say
you're my
homegirl. I don't say homegirl.
Oh, you
I feel
don't?
like a super chola if I say that.
Why?
I don't know. It's not my words. I don't ever use those.
So what do you say then?
my
My friend?
Well, this is like my childhood friend. Like if I known her my
I
whole
think
life.
for me, I say, oh, these are my friends. But if you're like my true friend, I'll call you my homegirl. Because it hits different. It's a different type of vibe because your homegirls are like your ride or dies. They're the ones that know everything about you versus like your friends. They only know certain things about you.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'll be checking on you.
No, thank you. I'll be checking up on you too, girl. I'll be like, "What's up, girl? How you doing? Did you get on that vacation? Did
How's
you
the
go on
skincare?
vacation?
You gotta
How's the
remember me about the skincare?
How's the skincare going? How's your makeup looks going?
Good. I like that. Yeah, we could always use another friend, like another real woman in our life. Not just a friend, but like a real woman in our lives. Like you
A
said,
support.
a support, exactly. Well, thank you for sharing again for like the 5th time, right? Anything else?
No, I'm done. You?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.